We've all been taught the same story. Work hard, save diligently, build your wealth. And one day, when you finally have enough, you'll feel completely free. But here's the truth few people ever talk about. For many Canadians, that moment never comes. They reach the number they thought would set them free. Maybe it's $1 million, maybe it's $2 million, even $5 million, and yet they don't feel relaxed. They still worry about the markets. They still stress about taxes, inflation, and longevity. They still hesitate to spend, even though their plan says that they can. Because financial freedom isn't just about money, it's about a mindset. You can have all the wealth you'll ever need, but if you don't have the confidence or structure to use it, you're not free. You're just well-funded and anxious. And that's what I call the retirement illusion. The belief that more money automatically equals more freedom. When in reality, true freedom isn't about how much you've saved, it's about how well your wealth supports the life you actually want to live. Hi, I'm Danny Perro, Senior Investment Advisor at CG Wealth Management. If you've spent decades building wealth, this video is for you. Because what I've seen over and over again is that the biggest obstacles to financial freedom in retirement isn't running out of money. It's not knowing when you can safely start using it. Too many affluent Canadians reach retirement with strong portfolios but weak confidence. They've spent years in the accumulation mode, saving, investing, protecting, but never learned how to shift into enjoyment mode. And that's what keeps them stuck in the retirement illusion. In this video, we'll break down why more money doesn't always mean more freedom, and what actually leads to peace of mind in retirement, and how to design a plan that lets you enjoy your wealth instead of just managing it. If you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We love to read and respond to comments right away. Number one, the myth of once I hit this number, I'll be free. Most people spend their entire careers chasing a number, $1, $2, $3 million. It becomes the finish line, the moment they'll finally feel safe enough to retire. But here's the pattern I see. Once they hit it, that number changes. The market dips, inflation rises, or a new expense appears. And suddenly, that original goal doesn't feel like enough anymore. The target keeps moving, and that feeling of security never quite arrives. Because financial freedom isn't just a number, it's a state of clarity. And you can't measure peace of mind in dollars. You measure it in confidence. Confidence that your plan works, confidence that your lifestyle is sustainable, and confidence that you can make choices based on what you want, not what you fear. Until you have that clarity, no amount of money will ever feel like enough. Number two, the control trap. Wealthy retirees fall into this all the time. If you've built significant wealth, you're used to being in control. You've made strategic decisions, took calculated risks, and built something amazing, something meaningful. Maybe a business, a career, or maybe an entire legacy. But retirement feels different. You can't control the markets, the tax laws, or the interest rates. And that loss of control often leads to anxiety, even for people who are financially secure. I've seen retirees who check their portfolios daily. They adjust their allocations weekly and stress over every news headline. Not because they need to, but because it feels familiar. The truth is, you don't need control, you need confidence. When your plan is properly structured, with diversified income streams, risk management, and predictable withdrawals, you don't need to micromanage. You can finally relax. Real freedom isn't about watching every move the market makes, trusting that your plan can handle whatever it throws at you. Number three, the hidden cost of always wanting more. Having more money doesn't always make life simpler. In fact, it often does quite the opposite. More assets means more complexity, more tax considerations, more decisions, more moving parts. And with complexity comes decision fatigue. I once met a couple, let's call them Robert and Elaine, who retired with $4 million invested. They had enough income, no debt, and a clear plan. But instead of enjoying retirement, they spent every day tracking the markets, moving funds, and reading economic forecasts. When I asked why, Robert said, because we don't want to make a mistake. That fear had turned their retirement into a full-time job. The truth is, they weren't lacking resources, they were lacking permission. Permission to live the life they've already earned. And that's what many Canadians miss. Freedom doesn't come from more, it comes from enough. Number four, why emotional security matters more than financial security. Most retirement plans measure financial security, the probability your money will last 30 years or more, but they rarely measure emotional security. the peace of mind that comes from knowing your plan actually works in real life. And that's the missing piece for so many retirees. You can have the best retirement portfolio in the world, but if every withdrawal triggers stress or guilt, you're not financially free. You're financially handcuffed. Emotional security comes from having the following: a clear income plan showing exactly where each dollar comes from, a cash buffer or wedge that protects you during market volatility that you can spend from, a tax strategy that keeps more of your money working for you when your income feels stable and intentional. You stop worrying about every market fluctuation, and you can start enjoying your lifestyle with confidence. That's the point where wealthy finally starts to feel like freedom. Number 5, redefining what enough actually means. Here's the question I ask every client: what does enough look like for you? Not in the numbers, but in the lifestyle. Do you want to travel, support your kids or grandkids, spend more time at the cottage, give more to causes that matter to you? Because enough is deeply personal. For some, it's $80,000 a year and complete freedom over their time. For others, it's the ability to give back or leaving a lasting legacy. But without defining what enough means for you, your brain will keep moving the goalposts no matter how much you've saved. Once you know what you truly want, your financial plan can be built around that vision, not in front of it. That's when you stop chasing more and start living better. Number 6, the power of a purpose-driven plan. Money by itself doesn't create freedom, but a plan that aligns your money with purpose does. That's where the right strategy makes all the difference in the world. A strong retirement plan separates your wealth into clear, purpose-driven buckets. For example, short-term cash or low volatility investments for the next few years of spending. Medium-term balanced investments for stability and moderate growth. And finally, long-term growth-oriented assets to outpace inflation and support legacy goals. When you know exactly where your income is coming from and that the future is protected, you can gain something that can't be bought: peace of mind. You no longer have to ask, can I afford to? You simply decide, do I want to? That's the real definition of freedom. Number 7, the real reason more money doesn't equal more happiness. At a certain point, the numbers stop mattering. It's not about adding more zeros to your portfolio. It's about reducing the worry attached to it. The happiest retirees aren't necessarily the richest ones. They're the ones who've built enough wealth to live comfortably, and they have the confidence to actually enjoy it. They spend intentionally. They focus on health, relationships, and experiences. And they design the retirement around living, not managing. Because once your wealth becomes a tool, not a burden, every part of your life gets lighter. The retirement illusion is powerful. The idea that more money automatically lends to more freedom. But the truth is, freedom doesn't come from your balance sheet. It comes from clarity, structure, and purpose. When your wealth is aligned with your life, when you know how to draw from it, protect it, and enjoy it, that's when retirement finally feels the way it should: calm, confident, and free. So if you're financially secure but still feel stuck between comfort and confidence, it may be time for a second look. Because sometimes the thing holding you back isn't your portfolio, it's your perspective. If you want a second opinion on your plan, book a time with me using the link in the description below. Because the time to act is now. Because as you know, money never sleeps.